The Rangers have dropped 6 of their last 7 and were just absolutely exposed by the Devils on their home ice Monday night. But are they fixable is the question. So let's bring in my guy, Jonny Lazarus, Rangers beat writer and host of the Daily Faceoff, because maybe Jay Lazzy has the answer or answers. Jay Lazzy, what's going on, my man?
I don't think anyone has the answers right now, Brandon, and honestly, the vibes could not be lower right now for the New York Rangers. I've been around this team now for almost 2 full years, but I've been a fan my entire life, and I can't remember watching a team that's been as, I want to say, uninspired as this team is right now. And, it's been really tough to watch because they have good players. They're just not putting it together, and right now I think everyone's looking for answers that just don't seem to be there.
And what a difference, I guess, a couple months can make, because the vibes were high when we were at your watch parties during the playoffs. I had a non-alcoholic beverage in my hand and all that. I mean, the vibes are absolutely high when it came to this team, man. But to go back to Monday night, give me one word to describe what happened at the Garden and then talk about the loss.
Well, the first word that comes to my mind, honestly, is anticipated. And if you've watched the Devils and if you've watched the Rangers, that outcome was pretty predictable. The Rangers are the worst team in the league at defending the rush. The Devils are one of the better teams in the league at generating offense off the rush, and that was evident from 87 seconds into the game, where Jesper Bratt gets a 2-on-1 with Jack Hughes from the Devils' own blue line, and he goes 5-hole on Igor Shesterkin. And, I know people are saying that Igor could have made that save, which he could have. It wasn't the best goal I've seen Igor give up, but the problem stems from Artemi Panarin and Alexis Lafreniere hopping off the bench and just misreading the play, and that's what the Rangers have done for the majority of this season. They're disconnected, they're misreading plays, and for whatever reason, these mistakes are just constant, and it's the same mistakes that are happening over and over again. So until you find a way to fix that, I don't see any changes happening with this team right now, and I think that's a big concern going into Friday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, because if they drop that game, then I think it's really time to hit the panic button.
You mentioned all of the mistakes, but a casual fan, when they see 5 goals, you gave up 5 goals, automatically people are going to blame the goaltender. Igor Shesterkin is in the middle of his first 5-game losing streak in his 6-year NHL career, but are these losses on Igor?
I don't believe so, and something about this team that I would like to point out stats-wise, in Igor's first 9 games, he was lights out. He had a .933 save percentage and a 2.22 goals against average, and he was making up for a lot of these mistakes that we did see. But now we're still seeing those mistakes. Igor's just not making the saves. And in the last 9 games, he's got a .882 save percentage and a 3.93 goals against average. So, his numbers are much worse now, but the way the team is playing in front of him is still the same to me. He's just not getting the same rhythm that he was in to start this year, and anyone who's been watching this team night in, night out can see that. And while you can point fingers and point in a few goals last night and say that Igor should have had that one, I think the second goal against in the first period, Igor probably should have had that one. It's tough to blame him when he's facing fire and almost 35 to 40 shots every single night. The problem is in front of him, and if he's not playing out of his mind, this is the result that we're going to see. So, Jonathan Quick's been great as well. He gets a start against Edmonton, and the Oilers score 6 goals in that game. I thought Quick played well against the Canadiens, but the Rangers made more mistakes against the Canadiens, and Quick lets up 3. They blow a 2-goal lead in the third period. These mistakes just keep coming and coming and coming, and if the goaltenders aren't above and beyond, that's what this team is.
After the game, Vincent Trocheck was talking about the funk that this team is in, and then Minka Zibanejad kind of talked about how they bounced back from it, saying that just got to be a balance of desperation, but also a cool head too. Is this, or should this squad be desperate for a win?
I mean, you have to at this point, right? 6 out of 7, and they look desperate against Montreal, but they still look sloppy. And sometimes desperation, it can't be forced. It has to be felt. And that's something that I think this team felt. Brandon, when you were at that viewing party last year, the Rangers were up 3-0 in that series against Carolina. They lost 2 straight games, and they were about to have a Game 7 be forced against them on home ice after what was, looking like it was going to be a sweep. And they felt that desperation in the third period, right? Chris Kreider comes out and scores a natural hat trick, but we have not seen that same team since. And maybe Friday night is the first time they feel it, because Chris Drury has talked about making moves, And if that doesn't get a response, I don't know what else will. But every game right now is a must-win game when you're in this kind of funk, or else you're never going to work your way out of it.
You know the fan base. You talk to the people a lot. From, let's say, from 1 to 10, where would you say the fan base is in terms of the hope for this team to turn it around? 10 being the highest.
10 being the highest?
10 being the highest.
I say it's got to be a 4. And I'm saying that because it has to be below average. Like, I know that fans do believe in some of the talented players in that room, like Shesterkin, like Fox, like Panarin, like Trocheck. You know, Zibanejad, people have been very low on. Kreider, people have been very low on. Will Cooley has been a bright spot. Philip Hedl's been a bright spot. Capo Caco's been a bright spot. Alexis Lafreniere's been a bright spot. So, you know, you'd think that those kinds of guys can turn this thing around, and that's why it wouldn't be as low as a 2. But you're looking for hope right now, and it's not coming from anywhere because the GM doesn't have an answer. The coach doesn't have an answer. The players certainly do not have an answer. So where else do you look? You know, the answer doesn't seem to be in that room right now, and that is the biggest issue, you know, for the fans and for the team.
Well, way to rain on my parade, man. Like, I thought you were going to give like
honest,
a cool 6.5. Like,
gotta be honest.
All right, yeah, I know, man. Appreciate you, man. Real quick, tell the people they can find you.
Just JLazzy23 on Twitter. You know, that's where I put all my stuff. And then my morning show, Morning Cup of Hockey, on the Daily Faceoff YouTube channel every Monday through Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. Brandon, I appreciate you as always, and a lot of fun talking with you.
For the rest of the day, I want you to smile. Smile for the rest of the day. Yeah. Smile for the rest of the day.
I saw this coming, so this isn't really bothering me. I'm okay today.
All right, my man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Thank you.